Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Couch Cat Podcast. I'm your host Ryan, and I'm joined today by fellow Couch Cat writer Brandon and friend of the show Ben. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Hey everyone.
Hey everyone.
Yeah, hey everyone.
everyone.
He's real excited to be here as usual. Thanks for being here, by the way, guys. And today we'll be talking about Due Process, a game we've been playing like crazy on Steam. But before we get into that, what's going on? How are we doing this fine Saturday morning?
Oh, well, I'm doing pretty good. Woke up, played some chess with the wife, and drinking some coffee. So can't be a better morning than that.
Dang, dude. Chestnut checkers, right? And Ben, are you just now waking up?
Yeah, I'm like roll out of bed and just start my day with the Couch Cat podcast. You can't have it any better than that.
You fell asleep with your headset on, ready? You're like,
That's
I got
it.
this.
Like I'm born for this.
And yeah, it's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but Brandon over there, he's in Colorado, so it's like 2 a.m. whatever.
It's mountain time. It's for us folk that actually
time passes a lot slower in Colorado.
Like to live life to the fullest.
Sure. Yeah. But before we go on to Due Process, I just opened up Steam while talking to the guys prepping for the podcast. And wouldn't you know, Steam's having the Indie Live Expo 2 sale. And it starts today, the 7th of November, and ends the 9th. And there is a plethora of games, some notably like Forager, that's a big one. Tiny Metal, kind of like an Advance Wars clone, or in spirit. And a couple others, like predominantly ones I've never heard of that are like $2 and are probably sexualized because there's a lot of anime sexualized games on Steam now. But
was it me? Me and my wife were looking at the games on Steam, and she saw like the topic or the genre. I think it was like sexuality or something. What is it? I think it's just sexual or something like that.
Oh, do I know what you're talking about?
Something like that. And then she was like, "What the hell is this?" And I was like, "There's some freaks out there."
Yeah.
You gotta make money off of them,
Oh, and another one I just saw, Fae Tactics. That's a huge game coming out. It's a Final Fantasy Tactics like game. So keep your eye out on that. And that's $14.99 from $20. It's not bad. So there's some cool games on here for those indie game players. Check it out on Steam. But yeah, so Due Process, we'll get into it. It's an online multiplayer tactical first-person shooter game being developed by an American studio named Giant Enemy Crab. That's a cool name. And published by Annapurna Interactive. So for those first-person shooter people, you're probably familiar with the 5v5 setup, such as like CSGO and Siege, etc. But it's a 5v5 team setup. There's, I guess they're not really called terrorists, but
it's practically like terrorist first.
Yeah, they're like bandit terrorists, whatever. It's
like
cops and robbers.
They're kind of dressed up like rebels,
Yeah. So just think of CS:GO. It's that, but more like hyperized, like the colors.
It's like a retro, very neon-y, futuristic feel.
Yeah, like Hotline Miami feel.
Yeah, but it's like Hotline Miami and CS:GO had like a weird malformed baby.
Yeah, third person, or not third person, excuse me, but 3D first person. But yeah, so the main selling point for this game, besides like the tactics, like it's more of it's an arcadey Siege really, but it's the maps, the procedurally generated. So the maps might not change, but then the interior, the entry points, the rooms, things like that change every time you play it. And every week they update. What we saw was like up to 3 gigs of data to pour in new variations of maps and then new maps altogether. And then they take stuff out that's been in there too long, according to the dev blog. But yeah, so procedure generated maps supposed to have a different experience every time, which is, which the tactical aspect of the game comes into play with the timing before starting the round. You can converse with your team, whether that's good or bad, with a bunch of random people. if they're not drawing penises on the map. But you have a map. It's a top-down layout, and you can mark. There's doors that don't require breaching tools that are marked in green. There's windows in blue, and then there's hard doors that are red that you need breaching kits like charges and stuff, or maybe even a shotgun to make entry. And yeah, so different rooms, different interiors means different ways to plan things out, and it's never going to be the same. So you don't really get complacent when playing this game. But yeah, Ben, we already talked about some similarities, but if you had to explain this to someone, what would you say in terms of gameplay?
Yeah, it's very close to something like Siege's bomb mode, but it's also close to Valorant as well, something like that. Because you have your 5v5. You don't really buy weapons in this game, like other games. Siege, you get a loadout given to you. With Valorant, you have to buy your weapons. In this game, the spawns have a shared team pool of weapons. Like there'll be like one sniper rifle per side. There's like a lot of pistols, Uzis, stuff like that, depending on the team. Yeah, there's a lot of shotguns in this game. The rebels or whatnot have an auto shotty, and then the cops have like just like regular shotguns, assault shotguns.
Like a semi-automatic shotgun.
Do they have? Yeah. I don't think they have an auto one.
No, they don't have an auto one, but they have the semi-automatic.
Yeah,
so
it's
they
like a
have
Remington.
to do like the pump, like the terrorists have.
Yeah. So you have to actually plan out your attack. You can't take like the auto shotty and the op on the same round, or you can, but chances are you'll probably lose both of them. And if you lose both, then it's like you're screwed. You have nothing. Like we've had times where on the third round we don't have any. So there's barbed wire and other type of things, and we'll be out of barbed wire and Molotovs on the last round, and we just we'll get steamrolled because we have nothing left.
Yeah, or so you're the attackers and it's the bombs.
Like if you're like a greedy player, you have to kind of mitigate it a little bit in order to for what's best for the team. And that's kind of hard in an environment where it's like everyone's trying to play for themselves, especially like if you were trying to play solo queue, it'd be
and you don't really know, like if you don't ask, you don't really know that you lose things permanently as the rounds progress. Especially, if you make the mistake and you take both, door breach kits in the clackers and then you die with them, or you use both of them, you have nothing left besides like a wall charge, which needs a clacker to begin with, and you only have two. So
it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
it's a pain
you can
in the
really
butt.
Yeah, you can handicap yourself if you're not careful.
Your whole team. You handicap your whole team.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, your team.
So if you run out of hard entry, so we talked about the red and the green doors, and they require like hard entry tools, like the door charges to get in. If you run out of those, because you have 3 rounds and you only have 2 door charges, then you're actually you have to go in. There's always one green entryway or open entryway, like glass. And you'll have to funnel through there. And the enemies, if they're actually counting your hard entry tools, they might just sit there and wait for you. So
if they're smart, and they most likely are, then they will be counting and waiting for you at the entrance every time.
I can definitely expect that probably in ranked a little bit more. We haven't explored that yet, but there is a difference between like there's a ranked mode and there's a casual mode. It seems like the player count is a lot higher on casual, which is probably expected. But ranked I believe is a best of 5, right? Like it
goes up to 12
or something.
12 rounds or something, and then
casual is first
like
to 4.
6.
Yeah.
So it's best of 6 versus best of. I think it goes up to like best of 8 or best of 9 for ranked. It's like one extra round.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's something we haven't experienced yet, but yeah, for sure, I bet. I mean, even in casual mode, we've seen people, like our first team was wild, but they still cared. They still were like, "Hey, don't touch the barbed wire yet," or
where's our second door charge?
Yeah, we're our first ever game. I took a door charge, but not like I said,
without a clacker. I think
without a clacker. I knew we needed the clacker, but like I didn't know it would just like despawn once you lose, and I died with it. And the second round, people were asking like, "We have an extra clacker, but no breach," and we just like we're silent. We're like, we don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's you don't really realize it. I mean, we talked about it, but you like when you first load in, it just looks like, oh, this is like it'll respawn every time, but it doesn't. Like once
Yeah,
you take weapons out of there, it's gone.
yeah, and
So
it's unless you win and then you keep it, and then if you
Yeah,
pick up the enemy's gun, say like the other person had automatic shotgun, and you pick it up, well, don't waste any of the ammo because you're not gonna be able to pick up any ammo
yeah.
in the resupply in the next round if you want and pick
It's
it
a
up.
trade. If you don't pick it off their body, you know what's ever left.
Yeah, make sure you
Um,
pick up the ammo while you're at it because you have to individually pick up the ammo too with the gun. So
there is
and
one annoying thing that I've noticed with the reloading. So with some of these heavy weapons, like the auto shotty, right? So you reload. If you fire one shot and you reload, it eats your whole other magazine for one bullet.
oh wow,
Yeah.
yep, and it's
So I
gone.
have
Yeah.
noticed that. Like if you reload too early, like you like lose most of that other mag. You just drop it on the ground somewhere, it's gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could pick it up off the ground because I've done that.
Can
And
you?
yeah, I've done that in the start where I was like, oh, I didn't mean to reload. I still have like 20 rounds in there, and I just looked down and there was the mag just standing there straight up, and it looked really small. But I just clicked on F, clicked it up, and I was like, oh, okay, we're good to go. I got another round of mag, so
but
that's a cool process, I guess.
yeah. I mean, that's another thing you have to like watch out for. Like just like trying to put a weapon back on the rack when you didn't mean to take it. It's a little funky.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the casual and ranked mode, I don't even know if ranked is fully. It's early access. I don't know if it's fully fleshed out yet. We're getting progression and titles and things that make people play ranked modes to begin with. Um, so I don't know what's going on over there. Uh, but yeah, I just like from a glance, the player base looks pretty small in the ranked division. Just to bring it back to what Ben was saying, but yeah, that's pretty much it for you, right, Ben? Like in terms of explaining it. Um, but Brandon will provide more.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the fun thing is y'all get to plan on like I guess you'd call it a 3D map. It is, but it isn't. It's like a pop out 2D map, I would say. And you gotta like put your location, say, hey, I'm gonna breach through this door, and all the team will be like, okay, I'm breaching through here, and then the lines that you draw will show up when you actually start the round, and then you equip up, say, this is what we're gonna do, this is our plan of action, we're gonna go in through these rooms, boom, let's attack. So
Yes. So
it's pretty cool.
yeah. So at the beginning, like there's a truck on the map. That's where the cops team is going to spawn. There's there is like Brandon was saying, there's like a virtual map that you have 1 minute to plan, and you can draw through all the different entryways and doorways, and you're trying to get to the bomb. The enemy team has a bomb somewhere, and you're trying to defuse that. And on the map, there's different things like there's a power station. You can turn off the power and make it so you can only see through like flashlights, NVGs. It actually gets really dark. It actually does make a difference in this game versus like other games. Maybe you could turn up the brightness, but from what I've seen, it's like it gets really dark where
It
NVGs
does.
actually work.
For someone who never gets the MVGs because everyone takes them, I know firsthand.
And there's only
Yes,
4
there's,
MVGs.
There's
I
4
think.
MVGs
Yeah.
and there's 5 people.
Well, that's because
so.
they're
Yeah.
when you take the MVGs, the one guy should have the sniper, which is apparently a night vision scope. So
We'll talk about that later, but yeah, Ben found out the hard way.
Ben
still
picked up the
haven't figured out how
MVGs
to
and
turn the
using the
night
night
vision
vision
on.
scope.
On that sniper, I don't know how to turn on.
It was super funny. It was super funny. But
Yeah.
overall, I mean, there's a bunch of screw ups. Like when you first play, you're not gonna know how to do anything, and reloading your gun takes a little bit longer, and you'll just die by one shot. You're running, how the heck did I just die? But other than that, I mean, they have like cool concepts. I mean, I think there's a couple things that is kind of confusing. Like the defending team is red, right? And then the attacking team is blue. But it's so awkward. It's like you're so used to always seeing other games that the opposing team is red. So when you're like defending, you look on the map and you see like a red body or the red outline of your teammate or something like that. You just want to shoot it. It's like the first reaction that comes to mind when you first play this game is shoot it. It's red, but it's just your teammate.
I don't think
You're a
I've
team killer.
experienced that problem.
Well, if
But,
you're
if
a man like
we've
me,
definitely had some team kills in this game.
Brandon has definitely smoked bend in the back.
Yeah, I
Like
definitely have.
I've
And
seen
like,
that.
if they walk in front of your fire and you're covering like a corner or a point of view, like you just get you're gonna you're gonna dog your teammate pretty hard. And if you play Valorant, it's like that. It's where the enemy team is outlined in red. So like I play Valorant a lot, so that's just like the first thing that comes to mind is shoot. So when I first played, I killed my teammates quite often, and I didn't mean to. But
Hey, he's done it in Siege too, so it's a very thin excuse.
well,
He's smoked us hard on
don't
Siege
walk. You
sometimes.
guys always walk right in front of me. I'm saying, hey, I'm watching this, and then all of a sudden
Hey,
someone
Point
goes,
Man's never
"Who's
wrong,
walking
dude.
in front?"
It's much harder to team kill in Siege than in this, though. Like this has actually like full friendly fire.
Oh,
From what
yeah,
it
yeah,
seems
yeah.
like.
Yeah,
Siege is like
anything and
I think it's
everything.
reduced a bit. Like
Yeah,
you can't like kill them immediately unless you're actually aiming for it. This is like you
two
can
shots,
like
three
definitely
shots,
screw
they're
your
dead.
teammate up.
Yeah.
Yep. So, just to like bring it to a head, essentially it's winning. Like this, the general strategy is winning the game, obviously, without expending or finding that balance of expending those resources needed to stave off the enemy, whether they're breaching to defuse a bomb, or whether you're defending a hard point so they don't defuse the bomb. It's really the war of attrition and tactics, like sniper or DMR or yeah, DMR. Like, where are you going to set up? Where can you see most of the interior or exterior of the map? Where can we get multiple flashes off and bleed through multiple rooms? Or where can we go through that's not so expansive that we know they can, like, we're in the fatal funnel, but we can push harder without having to split off 3 different directions. Like, it's really a war of attrition. It's cool. It's fast. It is a fast game. When you guys agree, compared to like Siege and stuff.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely a lot faster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, so the gun plays tight. But
There's
it's
a
still
sense of
it's
urgency.
arcadey.
I would
Yeah,
say
yeah, yeah.
there is a sense
There,
of urgency to get to the bomb because I don't know. It's like even though you still have 2 minutes, by the time you get out of the truck and get in, like everyone's like, like
Screwing
playing around
around,
getting
yeah.
through the door and stuff. By the time you
Yeah.
actually get to the bomb, you don't have that much time left.
You have like 0 time. We ran into that like I think almost every round. It feels like it's like if you're attacking, it's like crap, 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 crap. We gotta run.
And like especially if your initial breach plan fails, like you have to, because a lot of times we want to go in one, all together through one way, just because of the amount of resources it takes to go through a hard entry point, right? Um, so like, what if that fails? Like the attack gets rebuked, and you have to go through like the glass window or the green door that's literally like a 10-second sprint around the building. Like you really have to think about that. Like, how much time will this cost me?
That's
the
another
contingency?
thing too, is how loud footsteps are in this game. Like walking, I don't know if it makes that significance of a difference, but like
I don't even know
from what
how
I've
to walk.
seen, like most people don't walk.
I
and
just
it's like
I just
you can hear 'em
shift
a
right
mile
click.
away.
Yeah, everyone just runs. You just run, and
If
then
you
never
if
aim
you
down your sight
sprint
unless
zoom,
you're like sniping or you have a long angle, just because it's just not worth it.
but I mean, if you shift zoom, that's like walking while aiming, and most guns have like a laser on it. So you don't, you're not aiming down sights, and they're MVG compatible. At least on the counter terror or police side, a lot of them have lasers.
Defenders, you only have like a couple guns that do, but they
Yeah.
do have it.
Yeah, they do the tilt method.
Yeah.
Where you're just kind of like the side tilt.
You have a shotgun,
But,
like don't even worry about it. Just shoot in the general direction. The spray is kind of wide
Yeah.
on some of them, so it doesn't really matter. You'll hit them.
But yeah, let's talk about some like general feedback. I'll start off with like, you see it a lot. So early access, there's a lot of games in early access. There's a saturation of it, but even more so like certain genres, and maybe not like how I'm putting it, like saturation. Oh, there's a lot of, but I want to say in this instance, there's a lot of examples of early access FPSs or first person shooters that just don't make it. Compared to like the RPGs or the co-op survival crafting simulations and all that stuff, like survivalists and all the way back to Minecraft, whatever. But I think FPS as a market is niche, and it's also overshadowed by AAA, because AAA is mainly known for like the FPSs and the sport games, and yeah, there's some big RPGs like Bethesda, but like the AAA FPSs make it, like Battlefield and Call of Duty, like you almost never look in the indie
Yeah, it's
realm
true. Because
unless
like
like, oh, go on.
yeah, well, I mean, a lot of it's probably because it's AAA. You get polished gunplay and stuff like
Yeah,
that, so you're not really looking for a crappy indie game gunplay type of deal, and that's kind of where Due Process makes its niche, right? Is that
yeah,
it's like it's not you don't really expect it to be polished looking at it. I mean, it's the gunplay's not bad, but it's just like I don't know, the whole genre being like a twist on CS:GO and like the limited ammo and just um, the planning. It has its own like it finds its way. I
yeah,
would
it
say.
can stand out. And but generally, like FPSs aren't looked for in the indie realm unless like you're looking for like the tactical niche of like Squad and Arma, um, or even games that are like akin to like not actual hardcore FPSs, but the battle royales. A lot of them rely on good gun mechanics, but they're not seen as like a pure FPS because a lot of them are third person, like PUBG. But yeah, I mean, from my standpoint, I think it's really hard to get these games off the ground because I mean, we've played this and we've already seen the community. It's hard to see it's growing. I mean, it's early, but just one night there's like 300 people on, and then like 80 of them were casual, or excuse me, 300 in casual mode, 80 of them were like in ranked. Like that's not a big player base, and I feel like it can bleed out as quickly compared to other games that have like longevity of the survival co-op and other indie stuff.
Yeah, I definitely think it's unique gameplay within itself. I just think the player base is just kind of, like if you want to play a ranked game, if I'm like ranked really low, I don't really know how many other people are going to be ranked pretty low with me. And I might just get dogged down by someone who's a higher rank. So I think that's the one worry I have.
It'll probably lead to imbalance issues in the long run. I
Yeah.
mean, as far as like team
Yeah,
compositions and whatnot between
not enough
people, but
people in certain ranks. Yep.
yeah,
But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's
It's a lot of fun so far. I do love the fact that the maps change because you know how people always like metagame the maps, like they know which corners to shoot pre-fire and all that jazz. If it's like stayed the same, especially in Siege, they know how to like hold an angle, and that's just what they do is they hold angles and they shoot pre-fire and then move. So I think this definitely stamps that out. It's like you actually have to. It forces you to plan. It's not like, oh, there's these pre-plans that everyone follows and best players have come up with because they're really good. It holds really good angles. Now this is just like you got to go on the fly sometimes because when you log on again, it's a different type of map, and you're like, crap. Well, this
definitely.
is new. So it's pretty fun. I enjoy that.
Yeah, I would say the package is good, especially for with all the difficulties with early access FPSs. It definitely it's similar enough to games that have been AAA or close to AAA. Siege. You can argue it is AAA, even though the community is like the smallest of all of them. COD and Battlefield compared, but it's got enough similarities to make it, familiar and enjoyable, but it's got its own thing going for it. For definitely for people like us who just don't have the time or can get a group to, be loyal to a game like Siege for long periods of time. Because in the end, it is an operator game. Like you're playing for operators and the skills and stuff. Where this is like CS:GO, where you're here for the gameplay, uh, more so. And there's no like obstacles like learning certain operators and their counters and stuff like that, or like a large plethora of maps. This is pretty much the same map, but just the exterior is different. And in like real tactical situations, you have to plan, with what's presented to you. But that being said, as an early access game, things that I'd like to see changed. You guys will probably agree, but the UI is outdated. The lobby system is clunky, and there's no. I don't know if you guys have noticed because we've all messed with the servers and the squad name. Everyone has like full rights to your squad room. Like there's no squad lead when you're inviting people. Generally there's like that lobby leader or party leader. No, it's like everyone has control. You can spam different servers you're searching for and screw everyone over for fun. You can change the name to whatever you want. Whether that's good or bad.
You get stuck
Um,
with your squad if they're like
Well, I think
randoms.
from what we've seen, it's like it saves your own settings for servers and stuff like that. But as soon as you get into a group, it's like a mishmash of like whatever
everyone.
everyone has. But I think when you queue up, it'll put you in one of the servers you've selected. But then as soon as you like that match is over, it actually forces you to play with that team again in a way. Like it'll actually like force you to party up,
It puts everyone in the
and
same
then
lobby.
you have to opt out.
Yeah, you got to
like
create a new lobby after playing the game because it puts everyone that you
Yeah.
just played with into the same lobby, and then you have to vote to kick them out if you didn't want to create your own lobby. It's kind of awkward. It's very awkward.
We did play with our first game. We did play with the same team on our next game. So I mean, I guess it kind of being an opt out system might lead to more people playing together. I guess, but I don't know. That's probably not a good excuse for it. It's
I
just
haven't seen
clunky.
stuff like that since I mean, yeah, I've seen it in Call of Duty recently, but like I really think back on like the Xbox like Halo games and stuff like that, like the team can just stay together. But
Siege
it
does that.
is
Siege does have like a play again mode.
oh yeah,
You can
but
party up with them if you
you
want.
c-
It's opt
that's an
in though.
option.
It's opt
Yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah.
not opt
This
out.
is
Yeah.
this is where it's kind of like, us three playing together. We would I mean, yeah, we had the majority vote, but we shouldn't have to vote. Like one of us should be, the party
and
lead,
kick them
should have
out.
full rights
Yeah.
to the room, and be able to like, kick and move on, or hey, let's keep this guy here, or keep her here.
I mean,
But
technically we have the majority vote, so as long as we're all
right,
like not checking our phones or something like that, right when we come into the lobby, we just kick the person. And half the time they leave anyway, so
but it's still like jarring when like if you just want to like get rid of them, they are toxic. Like you don't want to see them again, and you don't want to have to wait for a voting system because they could still flame you. It's like we shouldn't have to like close out the whole lobby and restart it.
yeah.
Like that's kind of
I mean, it's not like too grueling to do it because it's really easy to start a lobby and then join, but it's still like you still have to do it. It's just like,
yeah, and the transitions like between like windows or like the lobby screen that's full team to like solo to like the multiplayer tab, like I still think it's kind of clunky. It could be smoother. Like I said, it's early access. These are just things I'm pointing out so people are aware. In like loading into a match, like sometimes it hangs for a second and you don't really know if you're like kicked or not. But I've never been kicked from a game.
yeah, neither have I. Yeah,
But it's kind of like there, right? Like that kind of like that dead space of time between like readying up, everyone joins to like actually loading in, where you can control your character model while it's loading the match and everyone's doing funky stuff.
oh yeah, we're all
But,
like squatting and humping the
or
ground,
running in place, or like doing dirty things with the crouch button. but yeah, there's definitely some time to smooth things out. It's generally just UI stuff, but the gameplay, I mean, you guys have brought stuff up, like some things just don't stick out, like the ammo and stuff like that nature. I think my biggest problem is wall banking. Sometimes I just don't think there's enough feedback. Like say you're getting wall banged, like someone's shooting at you through a wall or a shelf or something.
It's hard to tell.
Most of the time,
yeah.
Most of the time I can't even tell. Like
Yeah,
I just die.
it's just like basically since everything is not like dynamic. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not dynamic like other games, like where you actually get the walls getting penetrated. And this, it's just like a 2D like bullet hole on the wall.
Yeah.
And it's not
Yeah.
like 3D in the
It's
sense
not
that-
destructive.
yeah, I guess that's probably why, because like the bullet hole will be on probably both sides, but you can't see through it. It's just a black like 2D image on both sides.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
also
there's-
like
so
a hit marker, like you don't really get a hit marker. So like when I shoot through the thing, I'm like, oh, I just killed 2 people. Hell yeah.
that too. I mean,
Yeah.
but do mini games always have a hit marker? I mean, some do,
No,
some don't.
it
It's like
doesn't,
half
but
and half.
It,
right?
It's just kind of hard to like tell sometimes, but the saying that you killed someone does pop up pretty big, so it's whatever.
It's less of a hit marker but feedback, right? Like you have gun feedback, but you're not getting feedback that you're tagging someone. Like you're not hearing
Unless
that
you're
like
right
little
in front of
noise.
them. Yeah.
yeah, you're not hearing the like that
The
represents like the
impact.
hit marker going
Yeah.
up, like in CS:GO when you're spraying, or like in Valorant when you're, you see them slowing down, you can feel it. Yeah, this game doesn't have like good feedback. And we've had many instances like we've hosed a doorway and we're still calling out like they're out there, and then I look up and I'm like, dude, I just killed two people. Like I didn't even
Oh yeah,
fucking
You
know.
shoot through the
don't
smoke and
know
you're
when you
like,
kill
oh, I
someone,
killed two
like,
people that just came
Yeah,
in.
because
we're
it's at the
wasting.
top right.
We have like precious ammo and we're mag dumping like crazy, and we don't even know we just hosed like half their team. But
Yeah, because like other games, they actually put the kill. If you kill someone, it's like right under your cursor somewhere,
Yeah, that
like
doesn't
in the
come up
center
at
of the
all.
screen,
Yeah.
saying like you killed someone. But in this one, it's old school and kind of like CS:GO had it too, I think, but I can't remember. But in the top right corner, that's where all the kill feed is.
Yep.
But there's no, like in CS:GO, I think it's all in the top right, but it's highlighted when it's you. Like it's like a dark black background
Yeah.
versus like everyone else's. In this, it's just like it's up there. It's in the corner. And like your name's not like brightened or boldened or anything. It's just that's why it's very hard. It's like hard to tell.
I'm always searching for my name. I'm like, did I do it? Oh no, I just died.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've only noticed like it could, it could be more than that, but I've only noticed like dead players, like their names are red and like where their body would be or is on the ground. But like, games like Call of Duty and stuff, like when you zoom in or your focus point is a player you're fighting, their name is like, above their head. Like you can you're getting feedback, but like you can visually see like who you're tagging or who you're going after. And this is like the player models are clashing with whoever's in their stack or whoever's like, next to them or whatever. Like there's no clear sight picture really, for like feedback specifically of who you're shooting or who you're going after. And yeah, like I didn't, when we were, like I say, we hosed those people in that doorway, I saw like a red name on the ground and beyond the door. And that's when I looked up and was like, oh, that's a dead person. So, yeah, you don't see who you're going after. Like there's no like there's no aid, like, or visual. There's no visual aid in that regard. And we're not asking for like laser sight. We're not asking for X-ray vision. But just like that feedback that we are hitting something, like especially through a wall too, like that storefront map, where they come out of the freezer and they can shoot through the shelves of snacks. Like I've been beamed and I just don't know. Like or if you're shooting through it, you're not getting like that. You're not getting anything. You're not getting anything.
Yeah, I don't really.
That's
I
all I
don't
have to
really
say.
look at the bottom, like bottom mid where your health is. I never look at that. I always look at like where
you never
my
know how
sight
close
is.
you are to death.
So I never know how injured I am.
There's no screen feedback too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like the bloody sides or something.
It's nothing.
I don't know if that's always required.
That's a good
but
point.
Maybe it would make it more
Yeah.
impactful. I don't know.
That's a good point. There's no like red, edge outline of your screen, or like how
Yeah.
League does it.
You're
when
like you're
attacked.
running around like you're a healthy spring chicken.
I mean,
and you
I
got,
know your
fucking
health,
1
like-
HP left.
Yeah, I know your health. Like it kind of flashes a different color. I forget what color it is.
It depletes.
And it
It'll like
depletes, but
flash.
It'll
like,
flash
saying-
yellow and then it's like gone.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's
yeah.
usually like it doesn't matter by that time that you got hit.
No.
So
It takes like, it's pretty, I would say damage wise, it's pretty realistic. There's no like armor or anything, like CS:GO or Valorant. Like you're not buying armor. Your health is your health. That's another aspect of it. Like Siege, unless Siege has the operators that give armor.
TTK is low. Like you die pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like you drop. It's pretty realistic in that regard. And like I said, that kind of like plays hand in hand with feedback. Like we don't know if we actually killed someone or not until we look. We have to take our eyes off of target to look at the feed.
But have you watched when someone dies though? It's like a dramatic like they're standing there for a second and their arms are frantic.
Oh, yeah,
and then they
and they
fall
drop.
down, and then you're like, why did I take like 3 seconds for this person to fall?
Or when you're dead and you're watching someone duke it out from the top down map,
Yeah.
and all you see is like the explosion of like, you see like the bullet spray, and then like bodies just like collapse and just explode.
What I do like about the top down, like the spectator mode, I don't know if I think it should have a spectator mode, But like right now, all you can do is just look at the top down and pray that your teammate actually like clutches it.
Yeah,
can't
like
see
you watch from the
anything.
map that you plan on, and you see your teammate moving, and then you just see like explosions, fire,
Yeah,
and
or
shooting,
Yeah.
shells. Like
and that's
you
all
see
you see.
firing, but
Oh
you can't
yeah, the
tell where the
spray.
enemy's at.
Yeah.
You can't tell where the enemy's at. You're just like
No.
everyone just can be drawing on the map.
Everyone
like,
draws dicks at that point.
Yeah. But there is like, I mean, yeah, we just talked about like the dick drawing, but if you like die, you can circle, last known location.
Yeah.
That's pretty helpful.
But then you have
Uh,
to tab to the map to actually see it. It's not like you can
Yeah,
ping.
it's
like
not-
Valorant, you can ping.
Ping and be
in
like,
your
hey,
team,
someone
you
was
can
here.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can see the line on the ground
If you're close enough.
if you're
But,
close, but
yeah.
it's very limited on how you interact with your team when you're dead. It's not like Siege where you can use cameras, you can all sorts of stuff. You can first person, but I think they don't want that like from this style of game. I think that was like intentional.
Yeah, they make it
Just,
pretty quick. There's no time for that, anyways. It's all about moving in quick and then breaching, and then the defenders defending as much as possible. So
Yeah, it's really comes down to if you're the last one, you're the last one.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's cool. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say about the game itself and what I mean. It's early access; it'll eventually improve. But for what it is now, and especially the deal we got, I forgot to mention this, but us three plus Alan, it was buy one get one, so it's really cool. You can snag it for cheap and share it with a friend, which you should definitely do that with a game like this. But yeah, that's all I got really on due process. How about you, Brandon?
I mean, I gotta admit, it was great. It's a great game. I mean, for 2 purchases, 4 of us can play, and there's 4 of us that are always playing at once. So it was great. Make sure to check that out before it expires. Just the gameplay in general is awesome. It's only growing from here. I mean, it's early access. We did kind of like say a lot of bad things, but there's a lot of good things about it. It's very unique, and I think it's just very, very enjoyable. It's definitely something fun. You can just hop on and just attack at it. So I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
I
blast
think
it
a
out.
lot of our gripes were minor.
Yeah, definitely.
Overall, the base is there. The base is solid. It just needs some, like
Yeah,
Polish.
Nothing's
It just needs
quality
permanent.
of
polish.
life,
Yeah.
quality of life polish type of
yeah,
deal.
nothing was permanent what we talked about. But yeah, Ben, any final? I mean, you just kind of did, but like
Yeah.
anything beyond that?
No, I think it's a pretty solid game for what it is, under $10. They're not asking for AAA prices. So
Yeah.
for
And
what
you-
it's worth, yeah.
It was another game I had to convince. Hey, there's a deal, and we just split it, and we all get it. So it was one of those games again. I strike again, but yeah, I'm glad we play it, and we still play it. Along with Phasmophobia. So
Yeah, heck
It's
yeah.
a good break from
it is
all
from
those things.
yeah.
Definitely, especially when
break.
people
We don't-
just rage out of Valorant for me. Come on.
Yeah, I left that behind, but it's pretty much my only FPS right now.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that's due process. That's the episode. Like usual, like and subscribe to the podcast. Leave a comment wherever you listen to the podcast. It helps us out a ton. Visit the website at www.couchcatgaming.com. And if you don't, the podcast itself has links to everything. We have links to the YouTube channel, which has video versions of and simple MMO content and videos we've used in articles in the past. It's got links to the Discord, which is growing every day. You don't have to play a specific game to join it. Just come hang out. You'll find like-minded people who just want to chill and game.
Join the
And
community.
then,
Yeah.
join the community, but don't talk to me specifically.
No.
But yeah, all the links are in the description, including to social media such as Instagram and Twitter. We don't like social media, but we want to talk to you. And that's it.
Oh yeah.
So-
Also, if you're an indie game developer, reach out. We love to check out new games, and we're always scouring the internet for new games. So, and maybe get you on the podcast. That'd be fun too.
Yeah, send us a DM, Instagram, Twitter, or our email, couchcatgaming@outlook.com. It's on the website as well. We would definitely enjoy that. It would, provide content for your game, especially if it's growing.
Yeah, definitely.
We'd love to have a hand in that. And yeah, that's it. See you in the next one,
Yep,
everyone.
see ya.
Yep. See ya.